The last time we were writing our controller functions, we were able to write the function for create club. So we're going to continue where we left off so that we can finish our API and then we can hook our server to our view. Okay. So we've written for create club. By the way, I have my database running. So uh, my exam control panel. I'm trying to show you, it's not popping up. I have it running. Okay, so this is my exam control panel. So you can have it running on your own machine as well. The last time we created this database on yeah, and then we had this table clubs. So this is club hub, and we have the table. So we're gonna finish up with our API so that we can connect we can start populating our database. Okay, so we've done for Create Club. It turns out we also have to write a function for handling our form. Okay, so when we create club, we're going to have a form to populate. So because we are building an SSR application, everything the views are being loaded from the server. We also have to write the function for handling the form. Okay, and then from the function we can then invoke the create club method or function if you like. So we're gonna write export dot get add club. This is going to handle our uh, form for adding our clubs. Okay, so here we're gonna have this. So this is a functional expression. So we're just gonna render response the render. We're gonna render a view here. So it's known as the view is known as add club, and then we're gonna pass an object. The object is gonna have a property of title, and then we're gonna say register register new club. Okay, so that's all for that. For the add. Oh, okay. I said it's a form, so let me just call this get add form. Okay, so it's consistent with what we're trying to achieve. Okay, so we would also like to get the club details. Okay, so when we click on a particular club, it takes us to the club details page. Okay, so we have to also write export dot get club details. Get club details. Uh, details. Async here. We have a request object, a response object, and then for this next to handle our middleware, which instructs our controller to go to the next method. So here we're going to have a try catch. What am I doing? Okay, we're going to have a try catcher. So here, don't forget in this controller file or module, if you like, we've imported our uh, club module here. Okay, so with our club module, we can interact with our database using the MySQL 2 plugin that we installed in the previous tutorial. Okay, so here we're going to write our API here. We're going to say const club equals await club. Okay, club would mean uh, our model. So we want to use the slug, find by slug. Okay, so find by slug is the method available to us through our MySQL2 login. Okay, so we have request dot params dot slug. So we're going to get this on our param in the browser. Okay, that's for our club. Then we have to check if it is not club. Well, what do? We can do return response dot status 404. Then we can do dot render a 404 page. Okay, render a 404 page. Then that is if we couldn't get this club by the slug, we're going to render a 404 page. Okay, a 404 page. Okay, and then in the event that we did, we're just going to do response dot render. We're going to render a detail view. Okay, and then we're going to pass our club. What am I doing? I'm going to pass our club. Then we've written a custom function that handles our error, the other tutorial here. So I'm going to pass that here. So I'm going to do the next object. No, then I'm going to the next function. I'm going to invoke it here, and I'm going to pass the error here. Okay, so that's that for the get club details. What else do we want to do? We can do for search clubs. We also want to edit club. Okay, so let's do for edit club first. We can do exports dot update club. Okay, so this is request response, then the next middleware. Okay, so again we're gonna have a try catch block. Okay, so here I'm just gonna do next. That's the error there. Okay, and then for our logic for updating our club, here I'm gonna do. Okay, so we want to fetch. Want to get the ID of each of the club that we wish to update. So I'm using. Okay, I didn't put async here. I want to put async here so that it doesn't block the rest of our code while it's running. This get add form, I also should have put, but there's no need. Just I don't know. Should I put it? There's no need for that. So let's go back here in our update club, and then we can populate. So we can do. There is an update method available to us. We can do await here club dot. Oh guys, this update is the update here. What is it again? Update this. Okay, so when we go back here, once the club.updates, we're calling that static method that we wrote in our club module. Okay, the same way here, we're calling the create method that we wrote in our club module. Okay, so it's different here. This method is unique to our plugin that we're using, the package MySQL 2. Okay, so I don't want you to get it confused. So this update, we're calling the update method we define here in the club module. Okay, so what do we want to update? We can get the request.params.id, and then we can pass the request body here. Request.body. That's the body of our request when we update in our club. Okay. Then after that, we want to redirect, so we can do response.redirect. Redirect. Where do we want to redirect to? Okay. We can do edit, and then, well, I should use backticks here so that I can use template syntax. So we can do edit. So this edit is a view. Okay. So here we have request.params.id. Okay, so it's going to be like edit, then ID. We're going to undo this when we get to our route paths. Okay, so that's what we also have to get write the function for our edit form. You remember, we are loading our HTML from the browser, so everything, sorry, from the server, so everything has to be undone in the server. Okay, so here we can do export dot get edit form. Okay, edit, what am I doing? Edit form. Okay, so let me see whether if I use async it works. Request response. That's all for now, and then I can do this. What do we want to do here? Let me do try catch. Async anyway. So catch. Okay. For the edit, we're using the request of params.id here. So let's keep that consistent. So we can do const club equals await club dot find by ID. Okay, find by ID. Then pass the request dot params.id. We're gonna get this from our browser URL. So we can also say if we didn't get the club, what should we do? Then we can return response.status. Let's do file for, and then we can do dot render. I'm going to render a view here. File for, and we did that in our add club form. Okay, so if in event that we found the club, then we can do the render. We're going to render a view. It's going to be edit view. Okay, and then we're going to pass an object here, club title. Then we have editing. Let's use the club name. Name. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to render a view here. I'm doing this because I didn't want to avoid repetition, otherwise I would have done this. But we're in here 6, so we can just use 1. Okay. So we're still editing the name of the club. Okay, so in the event that this function did not fire, or it fire and returns an error, we want to do rest.status 500. Okay, server error. send, and we're going to send our message, error.message. Okay, that's that. We've undo that. We want to do, let's undo for delete. Let's write for delete as well. So we can do export dot delete club club. Okay, so that should be async. Request response and next. Okay, so here we're also going to do try catch. Okay, then we can just pass min over here. Okay, so for our try, we can do await club dot the delete method we define in our club module. Okay, so we pass request dot params dot id here, and then we want to redirect to our home page. So we say res dot redirect the home view. Okay, redirect to our home view here. There's one more thing we need to do. No, it's not one, it's two. We need to write our API for searching clubs. We also need to write our API for displaying the club in our home page. Okay, so let's start with the first one, displaying our club in our home page. So I'm going to do export.getHome. Okay, async request response. Okay, here now you can have this. Okay, let me include our next method here so that we can handle this elegantly. So try, and do catch, then we do next, then we pass the error here. Okay, for our try, we can do const clubs. Okay, so that's await club dot find all. The other time we define this find all function here, let me show you. This is create, update, delete, search, find all, this function. So let's go back to our controller. So find all. Okay, what do we want to? Okay, that's all. Find all. Then we want to render a view. Res.render. Going to render the name of our view, which is home, and then it's an object here, clubs. Okay, and then the next property, python. So we can call it, I don't know, what should we call it? European football clubs. Okay, like that. I think that's all for our get. And then I think the last but not the least is the search. We're going to write our controller function for handling our search clubs. Okay, so let's get into that. Let's have search search clubs. Okay, so we have request response. We also have our next here. Okay, then we're gonna have a try catch. Okay, and we can pass the middleware method here. Okay, before we get into a try block, let's do something. It's going to be querying the form. So you can say const query equals request dot query dot queue. Okay, so you're going to define that queue uh, shortly. Okay, so if our query did not match, if not query, what should we do? We're just going to redirect return response dot redirect. So redirect to our home view. Okay, so here you can process our results. Const results equals await our module. Yeah, I didn't put a sync here. So okay, so club dot search. Okay, so that's the search method we define in our club module. So we're going to pass the query here. Okay, then we're going to render rest.render home. That's the name of our view. We're going to render when we search club, and then we have to pass an object here, result. That's the first property. We have title, search. Let's call it search results for this query. Let me make this easy. I'm going to use a backtick. Search result for our query. Okay. So we render this home. Yeah, okay. So that's working. What else do we need? We've done update. We've done delete. We've processed the form. We've done search clubs. We've done create club. We've had a form. Did we handle for get club details? Did we write for get club details? Let's see. Okay, so we've handled all of that. The next thing we need to do is we need to write our routes. So we have to hook our controller functions to our routes. So let's go to our route, and then we can do club route here. Club route.js. Okay. So here we're going to define our routes, and then we have to hook our route to our server. And then, okay, so we're going to be using Express router here. So to do that, we're going to require Express, const Express. Okay, we're going to require Express, const Express equals require Express. Okay, then I'm going to do const router equals Express dot router. Okay, so this is the router method we're calling on Express. Okay, so in our route, we say we're going to be hooking our controller functions. So we're going to also require our controller functions. Let's say club controller. Controller. So this is require. We get out of this directory. We go to controller. We go to club controller. Okay. So that's what we have here. Okay, so what's the first route we're going to do? We're going to do router.get. Okay, so we want to get our home page, home view. Okay, so this is how we set our route. Then we call our get home. Okay, get home. No, get home. I want to use get home from our controller functions. Okay, so that's the first route. let's do for adding club. So we go router dot get. This is going to get our form. Okay, so our route is add club. Okay, and then we do club controller dot get add form. Do we have it? Okay, we have it. Good. Then the next one is say we want to. We also have to do the create club. So we have router dot post. Okay, so we want to create club, so we have to do post request method. So here we have add club. So we have club controller dot add club. Create club. Okay, create club. That's the name of our method. Create club. Okay. So we want to get the club details as well. So for that we do router dot get. Okay. So we define our route here. We want to do club, and then we want to get the slug. Remember, we're writing the functions for generating unique slug for each of the clubs we added. So we have club controller here dot get club details. Okay, so that's that. What else do we want to do? We also have to do edits. So for edits, we're going to do okay, let's get the form first for editing our clubs. So we have router dot get. We have our route here. So we have edit. Then we have the ID of the club we want to edit. So here we can do club controller dot get edit form. Okay, here. Now we have to update our club. So usually we do router.put to update, but then we're using HTML. HTML does not have a put method. Okay, so that's why we're using post here. So here let's set our route, edit, and then our ID, and we can do club controller dot update club. Did we have it? Okay, update club. Then we need to do for search. So we have router dot for search, that's get request. Okay, so we set our route here, search. Okay, and then we have club controller dot search, no, dot search clubs. Okay, so that's working. And for delete, again, our HTML does not have delete method that we can use in our views. So because of that, we're going to default to post router.post. Okay, although there is a package we could have installed to handle that for us, but then I don't want us to get into that. So let's just use this method to undo what we're trying to do. So we have club controller dot delete club. Okay, and then we have to do exports. No, module dot exports, module dot exports because the router here. Okay, so we have to go to our server. In our server we have to require our route. Okay, so we do const club routes equals require we are here, so we just do routes, then getting club route. Club route. Okay. So then we can use our club route here. We can do app.use. Yeah, this is what I'm just going to do. Then I'm going to do club route. Club route. So we've hooked we've written our controller functions, and then we've hooked it to our server. The next thing is to start with our views. As we have stated here, we're going to be using our view engine is EJS, and then we've installed that here, EJS. Okay, so we're going to be using EJS to construct our views. EJS is embedded JavaScript. Essentially, it allows us to embed JavaScript in our HTML templates. Okay, and then we do uh, the path to our views here. Okay, this is it, and then this is the path to our public file. In our public file, there's a style CSS. I think I may have included it there because I don't want us to waste time typing this line by line because it's not a CSS course. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for now. The next tutorial, we're going to write our views, and then we're going to hook everything together, and then we're going to see uh, how application unfolds from there. Okay, so I don't want this to be too long, so you should be able to finish up the next tutorial. All right, so when we return, we're just going to we're going to start constructing our views, and then we're going to take it from there. Okay, so this is route, the club route. Okay, so uh, I didn't need to go one level because it's server is in our root directory. Okay, so guys, I'll see you guys the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.